let's go to you, Mr. Rubin. Mr. Rubin, this is a soap opera in real time, and the latest dramatic plot twist, a 90-day pause. Who saw this coming? But look, the American markets are going banzai. They're rallying at this sweet release.
Wow, Martin, I'm in Washington, and I think I saw people skipping in the streets. This is quite the headbender. It honestly is good news. I will say that. I think for everybody concerned, I don't think we had to have this experience. I think that if President Trump wanted to go after China, he had more than enough space politically to do so. And so it's really kind of a counterproductive situation that we're in right now, which is that the American people went through a week of drama, and our allies don't trust us anymore in international trade. And all for what? I'm not quite sure. But this is a significant shift and a retreat from a political perspective.
So, Joel Rubin, to try and get inside the head of Donald Trump, if such a thing is conceivable, could this have been a 3D chess move to chase the foes into the open? Those who retaliated with punitive tariffs of their own now are clearly on the naughty step. Top of that pile, of course, the Red Dragon, China, 125% tariffs. It's an astonishing state of affairs. It's the Red Dragon versus Donald Trump, and that is an astonishing prospect. What does that mean for the global economy? What does it mean for America?
Well, Martin, I don't want to be part of this this train wreck to just smoke out a couple of adversaries that we already know exist. Look, the USTR, the U.S. Trade Representative, monitors this every single day. We have the data. We know who is harming the American economy, who's engaging in unfair trade practices. I think what shocked the system so much is that on the Liberation Day announcement, President Trump didn't go in a very targeted manner at those who are offending the American people and harming our consumers and depressing our industrial base. He went after everybody. And so he didn't need to do that. He didn't need to take us on this roller coaster ride. And he ended up, as you just said in your preamble, having his own team publicly attacking each other. He had Senate Republicans yesterday attacking his trade representative, really an internal Republican fight over the policy.
And yet, Joel Rubin, there might be many leaders around the world breathing a huge sigh of relief at only getting a 10% tariff, which none of them probably would have accepted before. But now I think, phew, 10%, yes, I'll take that. Could it be a masterstroke? 10% across the board in tariffs internationally? And no doubt a lot of people say, yeah, I'll take that.
Well, I think, yes, clearly there's a glass half full to look at from this perspective. And now you're going to see countries try to whittle that away. I think the 10% idea, it is an innovative idea from a negotiating perspective if you want to get to parity and real reciprocal tariffs. And this is the key point. The idea of reciprocal tariffs where we are tariffing at the exact same rate as those who are tariffing us, that makes a lot of sense. So maybe now there's a chance to reset, but certainly the rollout of the past week did not get us into a place where we could have those negotiations in a reasonable way. Now there's a possibility of legitimate dialogue, negotiation, and deals.
Now, Joel Rubin, this side of the pond, we're naturally quite obsessed with the European Union and the Brexit bonus. And, of course, earlier on today, the European Union decided that they would respond with tariffs, in their wisdom, to the tune of 20 billion euros worth. Tariffs on soybeans, motorbikes, orange juice and a whole range of American products. It's not clear as we speak if Donald Trump sees the European Union as one of those people in the enemies list, but you'd think that they'd be kind of quaking now. Ursula von der Leyen perhaps assuming the brace position in Brussels.
Well, one interesting story, of course, is that when they threatened bourbon, American bourbon, President Trump said he's going to put 200% tariffs on French and Italian wine. Look, I think stepping back from this, to your point, there's a bigger disconnect right now between the Trump administration and Europe writ large, across NATO, as well as, of course, the European Union. And this is real. There are real stresses between the two. I think the EU, they may regret that they made these moves this morning, but one could also argue that that is perhaps what finally pushed President Trump to put in the 90-day pause. But either way, the longstanding challenge between the Trump team and the European countries, our allies, that's not going away anytime soon.
And Joel Rubin, we can see on our screens now, there's live feedback there. The Dow Jones Index DJI currently 6.6% up. That more or less eviscerates, wipes out. That's a very good day. You can see there, it looks like an Elon Musk takeoff rocket trajectory there, wiping out the downturns of the past couple of days. Donald Trump did say, don't panic, don't be a panico, buy in and you'll get an impossibly rich. Do you think this is all part of the plan?
Well, I think the problem now, he has his credibility on this whole plan. I mean, a week ago, he says he's going to tariff everyone and he's not going to back off. And he sends his poor Commerce Secretary to say, Howard Lutnick, to say, the president's not changing his mind. And now a day and a half later, he changes his mind. And so I think that we have to really wonder, if you're in the business community, what does the future hold? In 2 weeks, will he decide now it's time to put the tariffs back on? So this could have a real damaging effect on long-term investment in the American economy. What I want to see is, are we going to have reinvestment back in the United States? Are we going to have factories be invested in? Is his goal ultimately, which is to reinvigorate the American economy, actually going to be achieved? Or is all this helter-skelter just going to confuse the market and investors and keep them paralyzed from making long-term commitments?
Well, Joel Rubin, a lot of people in America, as in the United Kingdom, will be praying that the industrial base over here is reinvigorated. Perhaps there's now a competitive advantage over China, particularly on steel and the like. Joel